All right. Aloha, Women Up Hawaii members. This is Sloane coming to you from the comfort of my home and my computer. And I'm very excited for this month. First of all, welcome to our September month of training, which is Authenticity and Creating the Business that you love. I'm especially excited about this month because we have some amazing guest trainers and speakers that are going to be sharing their personal, inspirational stories with you, as well as practical tips on how they're living authentically and how they've been able to create a business and a lifestyle that they love. So without further ado, our first speaker and trainer for this week is my wonderful and dear friend and professional colleague. I've used Jenna's services many times over, and she always knows how to make me smile and laugh and love taking photos and being in that moment, and she just is able to capture the life of her subjects, and I just love her. And I also met Jenna back way back. It seems like a long time, but I don't think it's really been that long, and maybe it has been actually. She'll probably help to clarify this. But I met Jenna, and she was in the beginning phases of her budding career as an amazing photographer. And I just knew instinctually that Jenna had something special about the way that she was able to capture images in people's lives. You hear a dog or something, that's me. Just forget it. It's okay. And okay, so, and if you could, never mind. Anyways, you guys, back to the topic at hand. Jenna's amazing, and she's gone through a lot of changes and some amazing radical shifts in her business and her personal life. And so knowing Jenna, I knew when we had this topic that we had to bring her on so that she could share how she's living authentically and has become wildly successful in her photography business. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my wonderful friend and colleague, Miss Jenna Clark.
Thank you so much, Sloane. And I think we've known each other for about 2 years. I think.
Thank you. There you go. I knew that you figured that out.
Yeah, I've been in business for about 2.5 years, and I think I met you in that like half of the first year.
There you go.
Actually, no, I think no, never mind. It has to be 2.5 years because I started BNI in 2011, at the beginning of 2011. So
yeah, there you go.
Oh my goodness, it's gone by. Okay, so anyways, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm super excited. This is a topic that I am phenomenally passionate about, and you will know why within the next few minutes. So I'm hoping that I will blow your mind today. That's what I'm hoping. And I'm hoping I will motivate you. So by the end of this week, you're just going to be a total rock star in life. That's my hope. So my name is Jenna Clark. I am owner and head photographer with Creatrix Photography. And today we'll be talking about living the authentic life. So first, a little bit about me so you can kind of see who is talking. That's me at Disneyland last week. I'm 27 years old. I have been in Hawaii for 9 years, and I've been in business for 2.5 years. I focus on weddings, although I do portraits and families and things like that. In my free time, I do CrossFit. I'm absolutely addicted to mochi. I just discovered that, and I can't stop eating it. And I could not live without my border collie Rourke. He is my best friend. So that's just a little bit about me so you can see who you are listening to. So we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of the discussion. The definition of authentic, I looked it up and then I screenshot it. So I screenshot it off Google. And the definition of authentic is of undisputed origin, genuine. Synonyms that I love is bona fide, true, veritable. Those are great words, and it is super important, in my opinion, to be bona fide and genuine and true in your business, because I really believe that is the only way you're going to find the success that you are looking for. So my personal definition is to just be you. I really believe that authenticity is being true to yourself at all times. to be honest about yourself and how you're living your life, even if it is the most scary thing in the world. Like, I'll be honest, I'm completely terrified right now, but I'm so passionate about this topic that I'm pushing past my fear, because I really believe that I will be able to at least help, even if it's just one of you today. I just want to help one of you. That's my goal. That's my goal. Okay, so next, this is just a guide, so I'm not not an expert. This is just what my journey through 2013 brought me to believing that this is how you can initiate authenticity. Because some people think, it's just like, okay, I'm going to announce that my favorite color is pink, and I like beer. But that's not exactly what authenticity is. The first step, I believe, is to find out what motivates you. And sometimes you just stumble upon it. I will share my story with you. And I didn't realize that there were certain parts of my life that was my cause, that it was what was motivating me. I didn't realize this. So I think I came up with this quote. I'm not sure, but I believe that you can't grow unless you know where your roots are planted. And I really think that if you want to get to the next level, you have to know why. What is your why? How are you going to get to the next level if you don't know where the first level starts? So if you started a business and it was just because it was an idea, that's superb. But to bring your business to the next level, you have to know, why did you start that business? What is it that fuels you? What keeps you motivated? And that's what we're going to hopefully discover today. So first, to find your why. This is just a guideline, so obviously, you don't have to do this, and then obviously you can do other things, but if you're just looking for a base, this is what I think you should do. First, make a list of about 5 things that you love. It could be 4, it could be 10, just write down what you love. And then after you do that, I would suggest doing about a 15-minute stream of consciousness about who you are. What do you love and what do you hate? I've learned through building my business and branding and learning what I wanted to communicate, as well as just learning who I am as a person. People don't actually focus enough on what they dislike. Knowing what you dislike, I think a lot of people assume, if you talk about what you don't like, you come off as a negative person. But I truly believe that it actually helps you become who you're meant to be by recognizing not only your flaws, but just your dislikes. It helps you become that better person, to emphasize the great things that you love. If you go to visit my website, the link will be at the end of this, but on my website I actually have 2 videos, and one of the videos talks about what I love and then what I hate. So my idea behind that was that when you are branding, you learn you need to attract and repel. You don't want somebody that's like 50-50 on the fence. You want people to either love you or hate you. So it's important to know what you don't like, because, for your client, if you hate, like for me personally, and I'm probably going to piss off a couple of you, but I don't like the color red. And that's kind of actually my signature dislike. So that's in my video where I say that I hate the color red. Now, I don't hate it, but you have to find something that kind of signifies. So as a wedding photographer, I will turn down a wedding if the color is red, because I don't like it. And that just kind of helps repel and attract the people that I want to work with. And it's not like I think people are silly because they hate the color red or they love the color red. It's just, I just chose that to be my platform. I don't know. Okay, so I'm moving on. So make sure you know what you love and then what you hate. Then also what you can do is write down 5 goals, and then specifically map out how you plan to make each of them happen. I actually sat down last November. I was inspired by another photographer, and I couldn't even tell you who it was. They made this list, and it's called 101 Things to Do in 1,000 Days. And I was like, that's a that's a fun idea. That's about a year and a half, give or take. You know, that'll be great. So I sat down for like 4 hours one day and just wrote 101 things that I felt like I could accomplish. And some of them are absolutely outrageous. Like, not necessarily outrageous, just it takes a lot of guts. I have one where I say that I'm going to go to the airport with some money and just go, what's the next flight out? So if the next flight out happens to be to Zambezi, Africa, I guess I'm going to Zambezi without any inoculations. So, you know, you have something like that, and then I have on my list to learn how to make fish. I don't know how to make fish, and I want to learn. So I wrote down these 101 things. And since November, I have achieved over 20 of them. I mean, it's really awesome. Like, I'm functioning purely off this list. And I feel like, so when I cross it off, I'm like, yes, I've achieved something. And that might be because I'm right-brained, but I have a left-brain organization manner. So I like to make lists. I like to make goals. I like to achieve things. So it doesn't have to be 101, although it's fun to kind of come up with a plan. But, you know, write down 5 goals at least and make them realistic. Don't say, I'm going to make $1 million in the next 6 months if you aren't already making $900,000 already in a year. If you're only making $30,000 a year, $1 million goal is very admirable but not realistic. And you want to set goals that you're going to achieve. With hard work, you're going to achieve them, so you feel that satisfaction. You want to build your confidence, not deflate it. Okay, so next, my roots and my why. So I'm going to tell you what my why is, and it's really, really deep, but I'm going to explain to you later after I tell you my why I'm telling you this. So initially, just a little bit about me. I am independent to a flaw. My mom can tell you stories for hours about how I would just skip school because I felt like it, and I was 5. You know, I was just like, I don't want to go today, so I don't. Or the one time where I went to school and then I decided to go home instead of go to the after-school program, and the cops are called, and then they show up, and I come out and go, Mom, don't worry, I didn't use the toaster. I'm safe though. So I drove my mother absolutely insane, and I was like that, like I said, even at the age of 5. As an adult, you know, I'm pretty bad. Like, even if you give me directions to a place, I am so independent. I won't listen to you, and it is not. I don't do it consciously. I'm just like, I can do this by myself. And so I just ignore it. And it's not me trying to be an asshole. I really just don't. I just can't. So I think that's more of my right brain side. So my left brain loves lists, my right brain hates directions. So there was that initial independence. And then there comes in with my father. Now, my father is in prison, and a lot of people don't know this. I'm not even sure if Sloane knows this, so she might be pretty shocked listening. But my father was in prison for raping me, and the only reason I'm telling this, and I'm not looking for pity. I don't want hugs. I don't want to hear that, oh, I'm so sorry, because it happened. But the biggest reason that I am telling you this, and I am opening my soul to you, is because I know I'm not alone. I know that statistically speaking, you know, quite a few of you have had instances in your life, whether it's sexual assault, or it's just abuse, or it's just a poor family life. You come from something, and whether you want to accept it or not, it is a part of your motivation. And for me, with my father, who tried his absolute damnedest to break his very, very spirited daughter, I realized that was my why. That is why I do what I do. And there are obviously other factors, but I think it really stemmed from that he wanted so hard for me to just bend down and just be a meek little thing, and I couldn't. Even then, you know, my mom found out when I was 16, And even at the age of 16, I had to be cognizant enough to be able to go to court and sit on a stand and with my father there and, you know, tell everyone that happened. And because of that, it kind of gave me the strength and the knowledge that I could do pretty much anything. And I struggled, obviously. Everybody struggles. And it's just, you just have to move past it. That's really what it is. You have to move past it and just grow. So after my mom found out about my dad was sent to prison. I was kind of lazy. I ended up getting my GED, which I don't really think is a shameful thing, but it's not something I share. But now I can, because I'm like, I got my own business, and I have my GED. What? You know, you can't do it. Then when I was 19, I joined the military, and that's when I really, really struggled because of my independence. You know, like I said, it's my greatest asset and my greatest flaw. So I was in the military for 6 years. I did that in the Navy. That's where I was stationed here the whole time for 6 years. And then finally I was just like, I can't do this anymore. You know, I don't know if you have any ties to the military or you're married to somebody in the military, but you know that sometimes it's just nonsensical. And for me, I'm just like, okay, if this makes sense, why can't we do this? And you'll notice, like, my PowerPoint, I really reflects who I am. There's splashes of color, but I like to keep it classic. I like to keep it simple. There's no reason to overwhelm. You get the point across, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be easy. It's how I run my business, easy. And so the military just was not my thing. So I got out in 2011, and I I don't know, I wasn't really thinking. I kind of just started my own business. I called my ex-husband one night. I was like, I don't want to go to work. I'm miserable, and I cried on the phone, and I was like, can I just get out? And he's like, yeah, sure, as long as you have a plan. I go, of course I do. I'm going to start my own business. And I had no idea what I was getting into. I kid you not, I genuinely thought that if I created a name for my business, got a business license, and then I just started advertising, that the money and clients would just start rolling in. That did not happen. And you're probably laughing because this is a classic entrepreneurial move. You know, an entrepreneur is like, you know what, I want to start something. And then we do. And then we have to keep it going. And then we're like, wait, where am I? What is going on? But I couldn't fail because so many people just didn't think I could do it. You know, you have my old bosses are like, you know, good luck. And there was just like an implied like, yeah, good luck. It's not going to happen. You know, even friends and family members, they weren't big believers. And, you know, for me, that's why I was just like, I couldn't fail. And even now, you know, I'm doing really, 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 really well, but I'm still terrified of failure, and that's what fuels me, you know. So that's just a little bit of my why. So now you know what fuels me, what keeps me going. I've even had some of my clients tell me that I'm incredibly ambitious, and this is why. That's my story. Okay, so moving on. So I'm going to tell you how I got to this idea of authenticity. Why am I here in front of you today? You know why I started my business, why I'm ambitious, but I'm going to tell you why I'm here to tell you what I believe in. So in March 2013, I had gotten a divorce last year, and it was a mess. And then I had that lovely rebound that, you know, everybody has, but I even say it's required, but rebounds are meant to be messy. They're meant to be disgusting, and that's what mine was. So we broke up in January 2013, and I just kind of, I went on a downward slope. I was a hot mess. And I was lucky enough in February, the end of February, I went to a photographer's conference. And it was my first conference, and I met all of these wonderful, wonderful people. And the last night, and I should tell you that at this point I was divorced, but still living with my ex. So you can imagine the drama that was being dealt with this whole time. So back to February, I had gone to this photographer conference. I'd learned so much and had so much great fun, and I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to go home. I looked at where my life was. I was broke. My business wasn't where I wanted it to be. I got to HPU, so I was a student, just stuck doing homework, and I lived with my ex. And that is what I was going home to, and I burst into tears. And I remember I was talking to my friend Chad, and I don't think he would mind me mentioning his name. He's an amazing human being. And I was like, Chad, I don't want to go home. I'm miserable. And I was like, I feel like people don't like me. I feel like nobody wants to be my friend. And I think it's because I don't open up. I don't talk to people. And it's true. Like, I really, the thing about my dad, I would never tell anyone because I saw it as a shameful thing. And it's something like that shouldn't be considered shameful. It really shouldn't. Obviously you shouldn't be going around Facebooking about it, but you also shouldn't be like, oh, here's a secret I don't want to tell you, because it's a part of who you are, and you had no control over it. I had no control. But I felt like it held me back. I felt like if people knew parts of me, that they would judge me. People are very judgmental folk, and I can't stop that, and sometimes it hurts. I'm not going to lie. So I'm sitting there crying to Chad, and I was like, Chad, what am I going to do? I was like, I really want to share. I really feel in my gut that I can help people. But how do what if people think I'm crazy? What if they think that I'm just a hot mess? And he was like, Jenna, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. So, you know what? I just took a leap of faith. And so the first Friday of March, and then the following Fridays, which ended into a 5-blog series, I created a blog series called Jenna Honestly. And my first blog, Jenna Honestly 1, just was like, hey, I've been raped, and this is about my dad, and this is where I am, and this is how I feel about it, and I want to inspire you, and I want you to grow. And I released it into the world. It was, I don't have any kids, but I really feel like that was giving birth. It was painful, terrifying, and just painful and terrifying. So it took every bit of me to not just pull it down, panicking. Like, I did want to share that with people. Is everything okay, Sloane?
Uh-oh, Jenna, are you there?
Yeah?
Okay, you cut out right as, hi everybody, so we had a little technical difficulties, but we're back.
Okay.
So Jenna, yeah, no, we're fine. So
okay.
Could you
okay.
just pick up with Jenna Honestly?
Yep, okay, awesome. Yeah, so I released it into the world, and then I did 4 other blogs, and I left them up. And to me, that was actually more of a challenge to leave them up than to actually write them, because it's like, okay, these clients, these potential clients, they're going to read my blog. Are they not going to hire me because I'm sharing this about myself? And my other blogs were talking about my insecurities, and actually I can't remember what the other ones were about. It was just being myself. And I was genuinely terrified that my business was going to go under. But I knew that even if I just helped one person, even if it was just one business owner who felt, or even not even a business owner, just a woman who just felt trapped by her past and she couldn't move forward in her future because of it, I just wanted to help someone. So that's why I left it up. That's literally, I just thought of that anonymous stranger in my brain who needed to hear my message. So I left it up. As a result, actually, I have literally never been happier in my life. I'm so happy. I'm more confident about myself. You know, I think I do make people uncomfortable because I'm very, very honest. Sometimes I say to a flaw. I try to be tactful. But I'm more confident. I'm happier. I have more authentic friends in my life because I can tell them these things, and so they feel like I'm being more real and more relatable, which is obviously a big part of having healthy friendships. But not even just that. I kid you not. I book more. My business has grown 3 times since I have done this. Now, I can't say that it is specifically because I wrote that blog, but I do believe that because I wrote that blog, I'm more confident, outgoing, more relatable. I even feel like I can be even more friendly because I'm not afraid of slipping up and saying something incorrect or offensive or wrong. So it's actually, the benefits are just, to me, they're just so amazing. To just be myself is just amazing. But this is why I think that living authentically, especially with you and your business, is so important. Is because you get to work with people that you like, and most importantly, people who like you. You know, my industry is so phenomenally overly saturated. I think a friend did the math of photographers, and this was a couple years ago, so it's probably even worse. But she said there are, including hobbyists, amateurs, quote-unquote professionals, and then actual professionals, there are 3,000 photographers per square mile on the island of Oahu. So it is so important to not only sell a product and sell beautiful images, but sell myself. You know, a bride is going to be spending 50-plus hours with me, so we have to make sure that we like each other. If I don't like you, I'm going to be miserable, and that's not the point of owning your own business. The purpose of owning your own business is to love it. Even if you're working your ass off, you love working your ass off because, you know, it's yours. It's all yours. And I also genuinely believe that when you're living authentically and you're attracting those great clients, there's a greater customer satisfaction. Time and time again, when a client hires me last minute or hasn't really looked at my work, they're unhappy because they didn't understand that not only are you getting great images, they're getting Jenna, and Jenna is not for everyone. Jenna knows this, and she's talking third person. But you know, it really, when they get to know you, I think that will really, really, really help your business. There's also just a lot of less pressure internally to separate public and private life, to an extent, of course. We'll talk about that in a second. So you don't have to feel like, oh, is this okay to share? Because you're like, no, this is me. This is how I feel. I think it opens up more possibilities. You know, I made my 101 list that's actually public on my blog, and I actually linked it a couple times on my website. And I have had clients email me, and they go, I can help you achieve number blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, I've done blah, blah, blah. This is where you should do it. Let's cross off number 17, whatever number 17 is, you know. And that is so great, involving people into my goals, because I get to know them, we're friends, and I get to have the life that I want. And then, like I said before, you can have more quality friends. I feel like that a lot of relationships, whether it be friendships or romantic or even family, a lot of drama and conflict is caused because you're not saying what needs to be said. And living authentically is about being honest. Obviously, be tactful. You know, if a friend is like, does this shirt make me look fat? You're not like, yeah, bitch, you need to go to the gym. You just be like, you know what? I bet a size medium would look a lot better. Or actually, that's probably kind of a tricky, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying. You get to be more yourself, and that is a great thing. Moving on. So people ask, what is too much to share? And for me, there's definitely things that I don't share, you know, but there are 3 rules that I've heard of. The first rule I heard from a fellow photographer who's actually, I admire her deeply. And her rule is what you would share to a stranger on an airplane. And so whatever you feel like you would tell someone in close quarters for 8 hours, that is what you should share. Now, I don't follow that rule because I just don't like talking on airplanes, period. Don't talk to me. I don't want to be engaged. I'm an introvert, so I prefer to just not have mundane conversations. I prefer to have deeper, connecting conversations. And you can't just, it's really hard to do that on an airplane. I don't want to try in case there's a mishap. So I don't follow that. There's also what I call the grandma rule. So the grandma rule is, if you're going to post something or text something or say something, would your grandmother approve of it? I personally would not suggest this, only because my own grandmother tells me that I cuss too much. So I can't follow that rule either. Some people can, I can't. My rule, actually, I call the "Are you sure" rule. The "Are you sure" rule is I just ask people when they ask me a question. It's not that I'm not going to answer you. I just ask them, "Are you sure you want to know?" So if they say yes and they don't like it, I can be like, "Look, I asked. And you should have known better. You should know I'm Jenna, and I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to make sure that you actually want to know." So that is the rule that I generally follow. And then when in my own business, I wonder, I look at it, is this information, is this next sentence or paragraph that I'm about to say or type out, will this attract my ideal client? And will it repel the clients I don't want? And if I say yes to both, then it's all kosher. It's good. Just put it in. It's fine. If you feel like your ideal client is not going to care about the information or isn't going to like the information, then just leave it out. And that doesn't make you less authentic. You still have a business to run. Just share it on a different platform. Put it on Facebook, So instead of saying, I bought the worst fitting bra today, you don't put that on a blog. You just put that on Facebook or something. I know, it's a terrible example. I'm not very good at examples on the fly. I think I'm showing my weirdness and awkwardness a bit. Okay, so that's it. That's my discussion on authenticity. I am hoping and praying that I've helped at least a handful of you ladies, or gents, if there's one of those rare men in Woman Up listening. And thanks for listening so much. This was really important for me to do. Like, I've never done the talk over authenticity, even though I'm really passionate about it. So I'm so grateful to Woman Up and to Sloane for giving me the opportunity to share my story and, like I said, hopefully inspire some of you. So I challenge you to write your goals, figure out how to bring your business to the next level by bringing yourself to the next level. So thank you so much.
Yay! Awesome, Jenna. Wow. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I probably sounded like I just shouted because I was like biting my tongue for the last I don't know how many minutes because I just wanted to be like, Jenna, oh my God, that's like I've been taking notes and there's so much that I want to still talk about with you and we're running out of time. So what I'm hoping to do is maybe later on in the month bring you back on.
Yeah.
And we can do like a Q&A. So members, you guys are listening, hearing, these are ways that you can find Jenna and connect with her. And you can ask her questions as well. Go on to Woman Up Hawaii and find her profile, like it, connect with her. Hey, Jenna, hi, this is whatever. And, you guys can ask her questions. And maybe some of our most popular questions will come back on and we'll do like another Q&A with Jenna live. So that would be really awesome because I feel like I'm just going to say a few things that I really took away from this. One was your authenticity. Hello. Great topic for you to talk on because you were so raw and very honest. And I feel like it's really what's needed in our community and as women to hear not just our strengths all the time, but also a place of where we've come from. It puts everything into perspective. So I honor you and I thank you on behalf of me and our community for sharing such in-depth and really personal sides of yourself. And then here's one that really hit hit it for me, and it was the purpose of having your own business is to do what you love. Like, isn't that so simple? And sometimes we just need to be reminded that, hello, you started your business to create a life and to do this because you love it and you're passionate about it. So it's okay sometimes to say no, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And it's okay to allow yourself to say the things that you don't like and really adhere to the things that you do. I feel like that was a great perspective to just remind us that we need to live authentically and value ourselves. So thank you for that. Jenna, I just love you so much. And okay, you guys, so check out creatrixphotography.com. Go ahead and look at Jenna's blog, subscribe to it, creatrixphotographyblog.com. She's on Facebook. Like her pages. Jenna also did our Women at Hawaii Live first event, so you guys can check those photos out. And her email is jenna@creatrixphotography.com. Her phone number is 808-203-4661. Thank you, everybody, for being on the call. Thanks, Jenna. And again, this will be up in members training, and this will actually be live on Monday, September 9th, and then it'll be up in members training probably about 5 to 7 days after. So mahalo, Jenna. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.